Dr. Fahmi and Zainab, both of you talked about fatwa and you both highlighted the role of a muftiya. So, but you didn't explain very well for us what is the difference, the main difference between fatwa. What is fatwa mean? What fatwa means, and why it's different, and what's the consultation? Because I know there is a lot of deeper conversation behind that. When you have a counselor, that means that you have very one to one conversation. So how this works in the experience with women? This is my question for you. For Dr. Reham, um, you are now in the top of our institution, and I spied a little bit, and I know that you have 90% female in your institutions, 110 males and 21 females in Lazar Observatory. That's my recent information. I don't know if you have any updates, but that's almost more than 19% of the Al Azhar Observatory. How do you see their participation, their appearances in the media? How do you have any special like training for females, or it's just general for everybody, especially for the media and the training? For Dr. Osama, like yesterday we had a paper by Dr. Asma bin Baba and myself, and we talked exactly about that females preachers and murshidat, either wa'idat and murshidat in Morocco and Egypt, they were established as a response for or as a counter-terrorism narrative from the state. And you talked a lot and about how this counter-terrorism narratives have been used, especially with women. And I know I don't have. You are the spokesman of the Ministry of Awqaf, so I will take your word for granted. I don't know how many masjids or mosques in Egypt. You mentioned 1,000 and plus wa'idha. Do you think this is enough for having this counter-terrorism? You mentioned 9 types of types of women that they can they can go whatever they are. Can they have the preaching, they have the consultation, they have the counter-terrorism? So one of them, or Quran recitation or education. So please let us know more about the education, how they are prepared, these female preachers, how they are presented in the masjids, how they are perceived inside the masjid. Because in the media, it seems like their reach is not as much as in the masjid. So I think you're focusing more on the ground. How please let us know how many of them are perceived in their communities and the masjids. We can start you, Sheikh Fahmi.
Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you very much, Ahmed, for your question. And I would love to deliver my thank to Dr. Osama Raslan from Egypt. You did a great job. Thank you very much. For your question, it's important to understand what fatwa means. Yes. When we're talking about the education, it's curriculum, teacher, student, environment, and the teacher has to follow the curriculum and has to deliver the classes as it is. When we're talking about preaching, the one he is delivering the da'wah, doesn't matter male or female, he can reach to the resources and learn the verses and the ahadith about the morals, the etiquettes, and he can deliver it to soften the hearts, to educate the community and to help them to reach to Allah, to be close by him. And when we comes to fatwa, it's different. We're talking about the decree of Allah, the hukm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a fatwa at the end of the day. And because of that, the one he is answering the questions of the people, the Muslims, male or female, first of all, he has or she has to understand the question well. If it's part of the worship department or the worship, the ibadat, or if it's about the transactions, muamalat, or whatever, First of all, he has to understand the question. He has to understand it depend on the circumstances of the one he is asking. If he comes from a city, he is not like the one comes from a village. If he has enough education, he is not like the one he doesn't learn anything, because each one has his own way to deliver what he has and to ask his question based on
I
his
remember from your experience, you told me about some incidents when people ask you. Sometimes you respond to them is not about the issue. You like,
Yes.
please share with us this, because I think this is very important for us to know.
But you said
Just one example.
you said it's not right to offer an imam microphone. So I'm trying to summarize as much as I can. I'm elaborating. Let's wrap up. So number one, the mufti, to be a mufti, he has to do what I'm talking about. So to do it, he has to be qualified enough. What he is doing, he is understanding the question based on the background of the one he's answering. So sometimes a man used to come and ask about something, and depends on the understanding and the experience, I used to say to him, go ahead. And another one, he comes and asks the same question, and I used to ask him more questions and going through the details and try to give him an advice or to give him an answer and say at the end of the day, don't do it. They ask it the same question, but the answer becomes different based on their backgrounds, their circumstances, their status. If he's young, he's not like the one who's elder. If he is, if he has enough wisdom, he's not like the one is not okay. This number one. Number two, the mufti has to get a relationship between what happened and the question and something in the Sharia, something in the Quran, in the Hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the four grand imams madhahib. So the mufti has to try to get this relationship. Number four, the imam or the mufti has to give the fatwa or deliver the fatwa based on all of that. To do it, no way for a one, actually, if he graduated or she graduated from the Islamic studies school, to do it right away, because it's like a special skills for those they can deal with these questions and deal with the people in general. After graduating, he has or she has to get a training. He has or she has to attend these circles of fatwa, to listen, to monitor, to understand, to ask, to go through the details. And it's actually important to learn the social studies. Learning social studies is very important for muftin and for those that are answering the questions of the people, especially nowadays. Yesterday, I was talking to Dr. Raham about how much it's important to learn mental health, to go for the muftin, to go and take training in the mental health. And this is the first thing I did when I arrived here to the United States. I get my training in the mental health first aid for the teenagers and the adults. And this is actually what Darul Ifta is doing through the programs to help the new muftin. I think I tried through this answer to summarize the mufti, what he is doing. And if you remember, a man came to one of the Sahaba and asked him, I saw a dream and I saw myself delivering or doing adhan. And another one came and said the same thing. But the first one, he said to the people around him, the one is answering the question, he is one of the salihin, one of the righteous people. For the second one, he said he is going to steal people or he is stealing people, so take him to the prison. It depends on the circumstance, the case. It depends on the case. If someone is coming asking you about the
You always say like الفتوى تتغير بتغير الزمان والمكان والأحوال.
yes, this is the meaning of
Fatwa is different than ruling. It can be changing according to situation.
So it's not like the curriculum. It's not like the curriculum of one he's teaching at school, not like the wa'id or the one he's preaching to people or lecturing them. It's something different. Many questions comes to me when I was in Egypt. And the answer of these questions, not like the answer of the same questions when it comes to me here at the United States, when the people are asking about the timing of the Salah and the degrees of Fajr, is it 15, 18, 19, 17? When they're asking about the time of Al-Maghrib and the time of breaking their fast if they are in Norway, which it's a long day. Is it possible for them to break their fast after 18 hours, even if it's still the light still or the day still and Maghrib doesn't come, or should have to stay like 22 hours when the sunset happened? So it depends on the time, the place, and because of that, as you mentioned, الفتوى تتغير بتغير الأحوال والأشخاص والزمان والمكان.
Thank you so much. Before we go to Dr. Reham to answer my question, let me Dr. Aya, she's also here a lecturer here in University of Kansas. So please, Aya, can you say your question and you can be? Do you want to be in the video? It's up to you.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for the great presentations. It was really amazing. I'm from Egypt and I am an Al-Azhar graduate myself, and it's great to hear about the changes that's happening in Egypt right now and the efforts to include women, especially in religious institutions. My question is regarding like countering the online narratives that tends to be like hostile against women when they speak publicly. You know, one name comes to my mind is Abdullah Rushdie and his great or huge influence online, especially in the narrative of being very hostile against women. And is there like any efforts to counter this online? You know, because I understand there are efforts to talk to women in mosques or in fatwa to give them fatwa or counseling, but what's happening in online spaces is a little scary when it comes to women.
Is your question about counterterrorism from female preachers or in general?
Yes, from females,
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Aya.
Of
Thank you
course.
so much. Okay, we have the head of the Al-Azhar Observatory for Combating Extremism. So can you please answer my question, and Aya as well, for
course.
about
It's
female
wonderful.
participation?
Yeah, it's wonderful to have Aya and her very good question, because you have been talking about Abdullah Rushdie and how much very influential he is. Even, believe it or not, some women actually and girls out there, they like such kind of address, you know. But I believe that empathy is not optional, it's foundational. And it has been actually founded and very much well based in our religion. And anyone who will speak against such thing, you know, and the true essence of our religion, which is based upon rahmah and empathy and sympathy, and especially with the women. خيركم خيركم لأهله. So the thing is that when he says, no, the women should not, for example, go out of work, they should not put makeup, they should not put perfume. He has his own way of, as I said, talking or tackling such issues. And there was a famous issue about his wife when she asked to divorce his second wife after his first wife died. And many people went, but I believe that this is not the role model of a religious authority, even individual religiously. You know, as you said, that he not was kicked out of Al-Azhar, but he was in Wazarat al-Awqaf, and he actually worked with us at Al-Azhar for some time, you know. But his way, I guess it started changing his way of addressing people was
because of the demand. You remember
Yes.
last paper we talked about demand and recognition.
Yeah.
So public sometimes wants this.
Exactly.
So it's sometimes like, I'm gonna say what they are gonna like because this is more views.
He's giving what people want to listen to, but not what we see as right, correct, and authentic according to our principles that we have always learned in Al-Azhar. I don't, you know, you are what you watch. This is what
Okay.
they say about media. The people do like such kind of content, but still, when I believe that this is not the one or the person who will people ask a fatwa and depend on the majority. The majority will not ask Abdullah Rushdi and believe in the majority. Some people will, but I still believe that the people will just take their phone call. They will call either Darul Ifta Al Masriya or Markaz Al Fatwa, for example, at Al Azhar, and they will recognize this institution much more than an individual who has his ups and downs, and his downs lately has not been less. Because in the end, he's a human being, not a person. And
Not
he
an
is,
institution.
yes, he represents himself, not his institution, not his country, and I don't believe not all the religious authority. Number one. Number two is that you're saying that we have got 21. No, we have got 28
Okay.
researchers, because we have got now a sociologist, a female sociologist. We have got
In the Azhar Observatory?
the observatory, yes. So that's also a very important part, as Sheikh Fahmy said, that also tackling the things psychologically and sociologically is of great importance. One, I ask you all to pray for him, a psychologist who passed away last year. He was also in the observatory, a professor of psychology, and he did a great job, and I depended on him in so many things. This is ربنا يرحمه رحمة الله عليه Dr. Muhammad Abdel Halim. He was shot dead, unfortunately, in his village when he went for Eid last year. Yes, in Egypt, yeah, by his cousin. Yeah, it was a heartbreaking story, and extremist. It was one of the forms of extremism that he paid his life for. Rahmatullah alayh. So this is also, a part of the observatory which you didn't, I believe, witness, that we had also a professor of psychology, a professor of sociology, so that they can tackle and address the issues in this perspective, not only religious perspective. So I always try as Riham to, assign the role to the people who play it the best. So if that role, and for example, if Maryam will be talking in this issue much better than Ahmed Subhi, so I will say, but Ahmed Subhi can do something better than Maryam, not because he's Ahmed, a male, and not because she's a female, but I know that she will talk, and because I want to play a good game.
Oh.
So as long as the player is good and he will, just put the
We're moving from 0 female in all the mashayikha to 20%, almost
28. So
28% of
talking about
females in one institution
Yeah.
inside Al Azhar. That's
yeah.
like amazing, but we are expecting more from you for sure.
I will try my best to assign the role to the person who can play it the best.
Okay,
Not because because I believe that the Grand Imam, when he assigned the role of the presidency of the observatory, he didn't do that because I'm a female. And that the female presentation should be.
Okay, we have 3 minutes, but I wanna, Dr. Osama, are you still here? Because I know it's midnight in Egypt, so please, if you have a final word, go ahead. I'm so sorry for keeping you so late.
Can I ask a
I'm
question?
still
Dr.
here.
Osama
but
was one
as
of
I
the
fall-
best players in my team. Dr. Ahmed Subhi.
I'm always on your side, Dr. Riham.
Thank
It's
you,
a pleasure
Dr.
always
I
to be a
hope
player
so, but
with
you're
them.
always excited. And Dr. Osama was one of the best players in the team of the observatory ever for 2 years. So again, thank you
Thank you,
for
Dr.
whatever you have done, of course,
Humbly
with
taken.
us, and still, inshallah, we'll be doing.
Do you remember the question
the
I asked
same
you
team,
about the
I would say.
extremism and the counter-terrorism and how
Almost.
female perceived in the masjids?
Wants to sleep actually.
Yes, almost. Let me tell you this. Well, you have highlighted several points that I need to address, but let's go first to your question, Dr. Ahmed. Yes, I highlighted the number of female preachers within the ministry as a limitation, actually, because in Egypt we have more than 150,000 mosques. Not every one of them is a grand mosque, actually. Let's take for a standard or for a criterion, a grand mosques are those that are headed for Friday prayers, congregation, weekly prayers, and these are like 100,000 mosques.
Still, we're far behind the needed number, but still, I would say that the 28% of Al Azhar account for another team with the same goals, with the same targets, with the same objectives. And also my dear colleagues at Darul Ifta, of course, especially female ones, which I take dearly as a great Egyptian experience, actually. So I take much pride in them, and I meet them every now and then when it comes to our conferences in Egypt. So yes, and that's why we're working on trying to doubling, even quadrupling the number of female preachers in Egypt. But I mean, those under the umbrella of the ministry. But of course, it takes time, it takes effort, and it takes money. When it comes to their training and how they are graduated as female preachers, this takes between 2 to 5 years of continued studies. It depends on which faculties they have graduated at and the level of further qualification into that, according to that multidisciplinary approach that I've highlighted already, how much years they still need to study. So it takes from 2 to 5 years, and that's why it takes time to have them. When Dr. Riham spoke of Dr. Muhammad Abdul Halim, he was a dear friend of mine. May Allah bless his soul. And actually, he was a victim to vengeance killing, which is, again, another key issue that is being addressed by all preachers, whether males or females in Egypt. Because at certain parts of Egypt, I wouldn't say it's a plague in Egypt. No, it is not. It happens in certain rural areas and in certain areas to the upper part of Egypt. And that's why we entrust our preachers, both female and males, to address this issue within their preaching. Hopefully, I've covered most of the points that need to be
Thank you
covered.
so much. We almost have the time ended up, but we have a question from the audience, and Dr. Fahmi, you have one last. Mahmoud, Dr. Mahmoud Kamel, do you want to have a question, or you raise your hand?
Please. Yeah, please.
Okay, very
Thank
quick,
you.
please, because we're almost done with the session. I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you so much, brother Ahmed. I just want to thank all the presenters, Prof. Riham, and also Dr. Osama and Sheikh Fahmi, and all the presenters. And also, I have a question. I know that Al Azhar and also the Minister of Endowment and also Dar al Ifta, they are doing great things. But I have also a question. What do they do with Muslims in the West? Do they send like female preachers outside? I know that they send like male preachers for like 3 years to stay there, but I don't know if they also send like female preachers there. Thanks.
Thank you. That's a great question. Okay, Sheikh Fahmi, one
It's open question, I think, not question. I'm not waiting for an answer, but is it fair to expect the traditional organizations like our organizations in Egypt to compete with the public figures? Is it fair when we're talking about an example like
Hala Samira and Abdullah?
Yes, yani, I think it's an open question, but I think it's not fair. The traditional organization has its own rules, and it's hard to compete with the public figures.
Thank you. Okay, Dr. Osama, do you have an answer about the female preachers? Do you plan to employ any female preachers in the future for outside, like international, as Mahmoud asked?
Well, this takes me to another procedural issue within the ministry, because the vast majority of the number of female preachers working for the ministry, they are volunteers. They are not contracted. Only
That's
a few
important information.
percentage.
So you're not, they are
Yes,
not
and
paid?
Can you ask him about Dr.
yeah,
Nabeel Muhtaj?
for the most part, no, they are not.
Okay.
They're not, and and that's why you cannot simply contract them and send them abroad. On what basis? See the idea? So they come out of love for
I
being
see. Okay, that's
social
different.
leaders. Yeah.
They
They come.
Okay, so that means
sorry?
maybe in future when they are appointed like the wa'izat in Al-Azhar, or al-fatwa, they are institutionalized already. So they already get paid, they
the
have
ministry
jobs,
have-
Okay.
Yeah, the ministry have already started with appointing some of them, but again, I highlighted the financial part as another limitation because we cannot fund for them on our own. You have to speak to the treasury, the Egyptian treasury in the first place.
Okay, thank you so much for everybody. We really appreciate everybody. Thank you. Thank you so much.